Hey, I'm back with another video. Check it out. Check it out. So, man, I'm gonna tell you, Obama really struck a nerve in everybody's core. Well, some of you guys out there that are Democrats and y'all believe that white people are here to enslave you and black people need to get on board and just follow you along the way when it comes to voting for who you say we should vote for. Yeah, you guys made us mad. And your leader, Chief, who we should be humbly bowing down to, Obama, we are choosing not to bow down to him. We're choosing not to worship him as an idol or to place him in this place above everyone else as the voice of Black people. Now, the same way I'm critical about Black people staying on a plantation and going the Democratic way, I'm also on fire about Christian people that believe that Republican means Jesus. Okay, so that's another conversation. But understand, I'm critical of both parties. It's not just one piece that I'm critical of. And I'm very serious about it. I mean, that's a different conversation topic, but let's talk about Obama and what he is attempting to do. Okay. And some of you guys may not have heard it, but over last week, sometime, a couple days ago, I know this video is going to be on. You probably will see it a year from now or 30 days from now, however the case may be. But he got up there in a campaign location in Pennsylvania, and he attempted to ridicule and scold and teach us Black men how to actually vote. And I'm gonna let you guys see this, and you make your determination from there because it rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm gonna show you who else it rubbed the wrong way too.
Speak some truths, if you don't mind. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running.
Okay, so first of all, Kamala she's not you, okay? And the second thing he's doing, he's admitting what's going on. Just like you have this campaign, white guys for Trump, now for white guys for Harris, now we got a campaign, black guys for Kamala, okay? So he's admitting first there's an issue, there's a problem. You're not getting enough turnout at the polls. We're not getting enough enthusiasm. We're not getting enough joy and hope and peace. Okay, so he's admitting first there's a challenge, and I'm gonna go ahead.
Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I've never heard Obama call the brothers, not on national television, not in a national broadcast, not on ABC. He'll fist pound the brothers when he comes in, and it's cool. But I never heard him say the brothers. I mean, he's going to talk to people now that he didn't do anything for while he was also president, but he's going to talk to us now, the brothers. If you're the brother, you should listen to this because you're one of the brothers.
So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles, and
let's slow down. She went to college with you guys, you brothers, okay? But before she even jumped on the scene after she got out of college, she was not the sister. She was not the sister, okay? I'm gonna let you guys do your research on that. Candace Owens is knocking it out the ballpark. Please go to her channel, check it out, because she's gonna break down the heritage of Kamala Harris. And I don't want to get personal with her, but let's stay on Obama right now.
pain and joy that comes from those experiences. Who's had to work harder and do more and overcome.
That's that struggle mentality for y'all. Come on.
And achieves the second highest office in the land. And is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers, and our fathers, and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents.
So I'm gonna slow this down real quick. So if, say for example, Donald Trump got out there, he said, "You white males out there, you guys aren't voting for Trump, and you guys need to get in line because you white guys know you need to vote for the white guy, right?" Hold on, I can't. He can't do that, right? We can't do that. Hold on, they can't do that, but he can make an appeal to the brothers, and it rubs me so wrong because he's not saying anything about her politics, anything about her what she's planning on putting into place and getting a deeper dive into it. This is the skull session. So you brothers sit down and take your spanking, okay?
That are too high and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act. So everybody's got health and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting down?
Now they're laughing at the brothers.
You know, because of Putin.
Now we going to Putin. Now we scolding the brothers, laughing at them in front of their faces. Yeah, you're not with us, Democrats, and you against us.
And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
Woo! Are you feeling the idea of having a woman as president? Now, I've had women in leadership before, and you got women that can really, really lead. And when they lead, it's a sense of this is what we're going to do. This is the next step we're going to take. And this is the next step we're going to take. Very precise. It's a lot of women out there that have great control of their emotions. I'm going to show you why we are not running around waving our hands for this woman and her emotions, okay? And I'm not going to be I'm trying not to be critical of her, but when you start getting into this identity politics, you take it personal. We stop talking about issues, and now we're talking about the actual individual. We're talking about how they speak. We're talking about what shows they go on, what they truly care about, and if what they care about is actually you. Okay. Do they really care about you? Now, we're not talking about it through their policies. We're talking about it through them as a person. When you go into identity politics, you remove now anything that says that we can't talk about her as a woman, because you brought her in as a Black person and you're saying she's Black. You're saying she's a person of color that is an African American, not just a person of color, but an African American person of color. So now we have to dive deeper into her as a woman being the person to lead. Because when you start talking about identity is not just restricted to your color, your ethnicity is also going down to who you are sexually as a person. Like, how were you born? You're born a female, and you're leading, and you're attempting to lead the free world. So,
and you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family, at church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time.
first of all, she is not the women in our lives. You totally forget Obama. She's not even a woman that has children she's birthed. This lady hasn't birthed any children. She's inherited children. She's adopted children. She came into a nucleus where children were already birthed and she took the title as being stepmother, but she hasn't birthed any children. She's not the woman in our lives. We all have different women in our lives. Please stop blanketing it and saying all the women in our lives think like she thinks. They don't think like she thinks. And that pisses some of y'all off. And I get it. I understand because it's not fitting your narrative. It's not fitting into that old time religion place where you go to that church and you tell all the black people, hey, we got to get them ready to go because the polls depend on us showing up and we got to show up in the numbers because the white man's coming to get us. Oh, come on, man. Listen, you were completely off right there. And now you're beginning to scold us for it?
They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody.
Finish it. Supporting somebody that doesn't look like her or look like you.
Who has a history of denigrating you? Because you think that's a sign of strength? Because that's what being a man is? Putting women down? That's not acceptable.
Now, I'm putting women down because I'm not voting for her. I'm putting women down because I don't agree that this woman should be the leader of the free world. So now I'm automatically putting women down. If you believe this and you think that is okay to actually if you think that is okay to actually accept that because I'm not getting on board with what you want to happen, I am putting women down. Okay.
For lefties losing it. And let's start with the many accents of Chameleon Kamala. She can go from Ivy League to the ghetto.
So, friends, 64 days. Let's just get through the next 64 days.
She's even pulled out a little Latino heat in recent weeks, but I believe this may be the first time she's tried a Jamaican accent.
Have you no empathy, man? You know, for the
Yeah, man. Have you no empathy, man? She ain't even doing good. It was so weak. Yeah, man. You had no empathy.
the suffering of other people. Have you no sense of purpose?
She's so authentic, so likable and confident. Of course, I jest. Now, Kamala has a man problem, and it's not just Doug, knock him out, Emhoff. No, he's not the only one causing her headaches. But the fact that so many American men, including black men, do not want to vote for her. Now, the reasons are numerous. They're real and valid reasons. But of course, The simplistic take is that these men must be sexist. Here is Barack Obama lecturing the brothers, as he calls them, on why they must back Kamala.
We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
He then went on to lecture them about why they must pick Kamala and why any reluctance must be due to what sexist, misogynist monsters they are.
You just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
The manipulation, the lie, the twisting of your emotion. I love my woman. I love the women in my life. I love the women that came before me, that birthed me, that helped raise me. But that doesn't mean I'm going to vote for a woman, this woman, let's be specific, this woman to be president of the United States. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This is not a hit against women, period, because there's some women, like I said before, that are just rock stars. This woman is not the woman that fits the narrative. She's not a rock star. Let's get it. You got to understand, prior to 2014, this is the same woman that all her attention was focused on her career. In 2014, now, we got to say, was it for love or was it for political expediency? She marries Doug. Now she rises to the next level in the Democratic Party because you have the full package. You got the family, you got the kids, and guess what? You also got a multiracial family. So we can use that because that's a uniting together. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's insane. These guys aren't thinking. They're not really, they don't care. This is a power struggle, and I keep saying it's a power struggle for the hearts and the minds of people like you and me. They want us to think a certain way, to behave a certain way, to be a certain way, because being that fits their narrative. This is modern day slavery. Call it whatever you want. We're just going to enslave you mentally and keep you on this mental plantation. Don't think out of the box, please. Don't look and say, oh, well, this guy right here, he kind of fits my entrepreneur dream. It just fits into what he's proposing and what he's done. As an entrepreneur, I feel it will benefit my family. We got to get the business straight before we turn around and do it. Oh my gosh. These people don't think so. They want you on a slave. They want me and you to continue to put our votes forward for people like her who clearly didn't take the time to raise a family, inherited a family, and she didn't breastfeed like the mothers in my family. She didn't do that. She didn't sit back and try to fix food for kids while they're crying and while you're also juggling your career, your school. No, she's not like the women in my family. She's not the women in my family at all. I'm going to tell you she's not, okay? The family I married into and the family that I was born into, she's not like any of them. So if you want to throw those things around former President Obama and just use that as the hook to bring in black brothers like me and black brothers that look like you and all the ones that are hand folded. Oh my gosh, it's Obama. He came to talk. Oh man, listen, there's nothing in his track record that shows that he was down with getting the brothers to better place. But he was the president for all. But now he's the president for the brothers. Okay, so.
And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down.
How do you go from being a man is putting women down? How do you go from you need to vote for her and you're not voting for her because she's a woman and you're taking the side of the guy who puts women down? Now it's cool to put women down. No, listen, President Obama, former President Obama, making that position and taking that position because you were president of the United States of America. You could have jumped up there, and there's plenty of things you could have did for the brothers. You instead of taking 100 black men over to the prisons to advocate for prison reform, you could have board in prison reform. Of course you turn around to the federal government can't subsidize that, but it's a ton of other things with crime bills with that you could have done. But this is not how you address the brothers after you haven't done crap for the brothers.
That's not acceptable.
I'm sorry. It's
Now,
true.
that little rant inspired some feedback from members of the Black community, male and female.
I want Barack Obama and every Democrat out there to know you do not own Black people. We are not slaves. Our chains are gone. We do not owe you anything, and we don't have to give you an account for how we choose to vote.
The Democrats then unleashed Barack Obama into the wild to shame us black men for not supporting Kamala Harris, despite the fact that she's yet to unveil any policies that represent our interests. But if it was a white politician shaming other white men for not voting based on identity politics, y'all will call him racist. Why is it okay for Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and all these other people that supposedly look like me? Why is it okay for them to get on TV and shame me for not voting for them simply because they look like me? That is racist, brother. I don't know how else to put it. That is racism. I don't have to vote for Kamala because she's quote unquote black. Just like I shouldn't have voted for yo because you got up there, you tap dance for the establishment, and you ain't do a goddamn for the black people that put you in office.
Well, this is intense. This is how they control your mind. Let me tell you something. I've said this. When you get the political establishment in place and they become friends with the religious establishment, they create this religious pool of political established people that feel we got you guys spiritually, we got you guys morally, we got you guys ethnically. Listen, this is where we should be at. This is where we should be. I'm gonna come for all of you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm just gonna say it for real. You guys, it's crazy. It's insane. It's insanity at its highest level. It's racism right in front of your eyes, and some of you guys won't call it out. But when you get old folks, also when you add to it, now I'm gonna tell you, some guys, you grew up in the 60s, you grew up in the 70s. I get it. It was a struggle. Listen, I applaud the racial civil rights movements of the 60s, the 70s, the 50s, the things that needed to happen for Black people to be free, for us to be able to cast a vote, for us to have these conversations that we're having right now. But somewhere along the line, we got free. We got the vote. We became billionaires, leaders of countries, things like that. And we started to manipulate our own. Somewhere Black people became friends with the establishment and felt that they were the voice. Some of them felt like they were the voice of the Black people, Black Americans, African Americans. And what did they do? They started speaking for us. What's going to mess up this whole thing, this whole movement? You mark my words, it's already started to mess it up. Social media is already, they're shaking because of social media. But what's worse now is that we all can actually say what we feel on channels like this and have it go over to 10 billion plus people around the world. And then that narrative that you created, that Black people should be voting this way, this is the mindset we should have. that narrative dies because you hear people like me, you hear people like him that have a lot to say.
You brother.
You ain't did a thing for us in the 8 years that you was in the White House. And you think you gonna pop up during an election year and try to scold black men for not wanting to vote for your candidate? Have you lost your mind?
I spent 7 years of my life fighting your administration, you and Biden, by the way, for my husband's military benefits. My daughter died because of Obamacare. I don't give a about you.
This message is for President Obama. First and foremost, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Number one, I ain't going to vote for Kamala Harris. I think that she's going to make a bad president. She's a bad vice president. Everything she does, she tries to politicize it. And she hasn't shown the fact that she wants to put America first ever. So I'm not voting for that individual.
What you thought you was doing, Barack Obama? Boy, you didn't step out there. All you did was black men off, bro. All you did was black men off. Why y'all think the American people why y'all think the Democrat Party own black folk? The Democrat Party don't own black folks, bruh. What you thought you was doing with that? We see the play. We know, we see the play. Kamala Harris is losing. She's not going to win.
The audacity of you to say to us that we are required and we better vote for Kamala Harris and that we don't want to see a woman in a position of power. You're a liar.
That's just a sample, folks. Plenty more where that came from.
You are a liar. And that's how you dominate in this game, y'all. This is how you dominate. You dominate by lying. You dominate by creating your own narrative. You dominate by belittling, because this is a fight for power. This is a fight for power. And they're bringing out the guns. And I tell people, it's crazy. You can see Megan Stallion, you can see Barack Obama, you can see all these other people jumping onto the stage to represent Kamala Harris. A-list actors, A-list stars. They bring out the guns in order to beat this guy Trump. And damn, you got to bring all those guns for this? That makes me think. I'm like, why are you pulling out so much weaponry? Because if this is like the loser or the guy that's so twisted, why you got to bring out all the guns? Man, I'm done with this. Whatever. Dude, like, subscribe, follow for more content. I'm going to get down with some more because these guys going to go crazy. And let me tell you something. Some of you guys that are being religious and you're making your decision also based on, anyway. Like, subscribe, follow. I see you guys for the next content. I am out. And man, I'm going to tell you guys, go win something. Have a good day. Because the fact is, Jesus does love you. We need some help in this country, boy.